why I spit Patron on this microphone. Watch out, I'm in the zone, worth for everything I own. Life is March Madness, one mistake, then you go. Yeah, I had a stroke, but your boy still rhyming. And Fresh got locked, but the squad still wildin'. Catch me in any city in the hood, we grinding.
So Bob Arum has made comments stating that Terrence Crawford in line to fight either Manny Pacquiao or Earl Spence in 2021. So I'm just going to go to the quotes. The next fight is going to be, as far as I can control things, we're not going to fool around. It's going to be Pacquiao or Spence, as far as I can control things. All right, looking for the next quote, and here it is. It's to everybody's benefit for us to do it together, Arum said. If the fighter wants guarantees, I think Heyman would be reluctant to face that bill himself. If it cratered, he would lose a lot of money. This way he would have a partner in the money. And so this is what people asked. Arum said that in response to someone asking if he was worried that Crawford would leave Top Rank for PBC once his deal was up, and noted that due to the money involved in it, it needed two promotional deals rather than PBC and Al Heyman, and that's why he said what he said. And so Arum cited Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury bout as evidence that he could get a deal done with rival Al Heyman in that bout. Arum revealed that ESPN Plus revenue counted for 1/3 of all pay-per-view buys. Another example why he believes that Spence and Crawford bout can't happen without Top Rank and its exclusive ESPN contract. He says the pandemic has changed things in regards to promoters playing hardball, and he believes both sides would be motivated to make Spence Crawford happen. That's yesterday's news. Nobody is icing out anybody. He's not icing us out. We're not icing him out, Arum said. Everybody is working together. You have to cooperate to make money. So Arum is saying in 2021, Terrence Crawford is going to fight Spence or Pacquiao, and he believes that they're going to be able to work together to make it happen. Trill Dollar Bill, what's your thoughts on that?
This is what's going to happen. We've seen it before, especially like he said, if he's controlling things. I feel the fight that's going to happen is Manny Pacquiao and TC. The reason why I say is because of Manny Pacquiao's age, his height, and a lot of other things that was going to factor. Mostly his age, and Pacquiao is making an exiting. I don't see them trying to push a Spence fight. They can say whatever they want. Top Rank is used to making matches that benefits their fighters. And if they're going to pick a fight, they're going to pick a Manny Pacquiao because, you know, the great Manny Pacquiao is on his way out, you know? So they're going to try to think that Manny Pacquiao is done, and they're going to try to, cherry pick. So if any fight happens, they're going to try to take a cherry pick in a Pacquiao thinking that he's old or something like that. That's just their blueprint. That's just how I see them moving. And the reason why that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight took place is because Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman thought they had this in the bag. They thought they picked the cherry. So what Bob is saying, man, it's just, I don't know. I just say what I think is going to happen. I think I see the great matchmaking for Top Rank. They're going to put TC in there with the smaller guy.
All right, G?
I see what Trill's saying, but I kind of agree with what Al's saying because of this whole, like, quarantine thing. Is, the economy is kind of like, it ain't the same. So, like, I don't see, a Top Rank fronting the bill for, let's say, TC versus Pacquiao, because I believe Pacquiao's a free agent now. So he's not even with Al right now. So that means that Top Rank will have to front that whole thing on their own, and as of right now, because, pay-per-view buys ain't like what they used to be. Obviously, there's no gate money right now. I could see them working with PBC because of the Fox backing to set up a TC versus Spence, because the goal would be ad revenue, and that will, finance this bout. So I could see Al Heyman actually setting up the TC versus Spence fight. He's probably, and from just the boxing community standpoint, TC's probably tired of people like coming at him. So TC's probably like, yo, not Al, Bob, give me this fight, I need this fight. I do believe TC wants to fight Spence, and so maybe now Bob is like, hey, well, the stars are aligning. We did it with Fury and Wilder. We could work with them. ESPN and Fox, we could put this together. We could get some ad revenue. We could do a number of things to pay you guys decently and to still, come up on top, and where it's to the benefit of PBC and Top Rank. So I think they would, for 2021, set up that fight. And the only way I could see the Pacquiao, which I almost agree with you, Trill, but the only thing is I do believe Pacquiao's a free agent now. You know what I mean? And so unless Pacquiao's willing to take a fight for less money, which I don't really see Pacquiao doing that, especially seeing that he's on his way out, he should cash out big. I just think they're gonna do the Spence fight.
I think just think Pacquiao. Who else is there for Pacquiao to get in there with?
That is true too. But I don't know. If I was Pacquiao, I would want the best bread. You know what I mean? So even if it means I gotta wait a little bit, I'm willing to wait. But unless he's still signed with Al Heyman, then I could see that happening, because at least now he'll be back.
I agree I think he is a free agent, like you were saying. You know what I'm saying? But, I think he still has that relationship with Bob. Have a long relationship. We don't know. We just speculating.
But when Bob was talking about promoters playing hardball, he ain't lying, man. Like, you seen what happened to the Zone? You know what I'm saying? Like, those Canelo deals is over with, bro. Like, they're not doing that no more. So everyone's going to have to take a short unless you're backed by a machine like a Fox or ESPN.
I think if anybody takes a short in the TC Pacquiao fight, it should be TC.
Oh, yeah, that's a no-brainer.
He gonna have to.
I already know who's going to be the ace.
All right, Ned.
If Bob, you already know we want the best fights next year. We working on AJ Fury next year. If we working on TC Spence or TC Pacquiao, let's make it happen, man. It only sounds like a great year boxing ahead of us. And if everything falls through and there's no upsets in the near future, then nothing that's gonna deter this from happening. I can't wait. I hope it. It all sounds good, but we seen things not go. We don't want to be damn poor Arum, yo. We don't want to be screaming poor Arum over here. So that's all.
Okay, so this is typical Bob for me. A few points. Typical Bob, yo. Look, TC's 33 years old. 33. He's not getting any younger. It would have been to TC's benefit to make this fight a few years ago when I felt like he was at the peak of his powers. We'll see what happens with Kell Brook, but I have started to see slippage with TC. Like, I don't think a prime TC
gets dropped by Kavalauskas.
Exactly. And in addition to that, I don't think he gets outboxed for all those rounds by Gamboa. Maybe he's just not interested. Who knows? But Bob Arum has put his company before the best interest of the fighter for years. And I'm going to cite Manny Pacquiao as an example. Manny Pacquiao had the fight with Floyd Mayweather lined up, but it was like, no, fight Terrence Crawford. Fight Timothy Bradley. Then he loses to Timothy Bradley. Then they do it again. Then it's fight Marquez, or whatever way it went. The fight Marquez. Then he gets knocked out by Marquez. Remember, the fight was on the table years before Floyd and Manny Pacquiao actually fought. And by the time they fought, Pacquiao had 2 additional losses on his record that he wouldn't have had if they would have met when the fight broke records. So everyone they say, oh, it happened at the right time, and they say like, oh, we let the fight marinate, and that's why it was so big. But no one's ever played devil's advocate on that. Who's to say the fight wouldn't have been bigger had Manny Pacquiao never been knocked out by Marquez and would have never lost to Timothy Bradley? Who's to say you wouldn't have sold more pay-per-views if it was Pacquiao at the peak of his powers and Floyd Mayweather at the peak of his powers? Most importantly, who's to say we wouldn't have got a much better fight that would have, helped push the sport of boxing to the forefront? So now you have all these games being played because promoters feel like somehow they milked the cow, right? Because although Pacquiao didn't win against Floyd Mayweather, what Bob Arum can say was, yep, I got a fight with Timothy Bradley, got another fight with Timothy Bradley, got another fight with Timothy Bradley, got Claudia, got Margarito, got Cotto, I milked the cow on this one, right? And still broke records with Floyd Mayweather. So that's what he can say. But if you're Manny Pacquiao, he didn't give you the best chance to win that fight with Floyd. He didn't. You took 2 L's before you even got into the ring with Floyd. And for your troubles, you took the L with Floyd too. Because of the way he was managing your career. So for me, it's typical Bob. Milk the cow at the expense of your fighter. So at what age do you want Terrence Crawford to step in the ring with Earl Spence? Just let me know. How old? If he does it in 2021 and he does it in 2022, he's going to be 30. He's going to be 34 when he steps in the ring with Earl Spence. You think that gives him a better chance? If not, until he's going to be 35. And see, this is why I am rapidly decreasing the probability of Terrence Crawford beating an Earl Spence. Because the longer this takes, and there's still questions about Earl Spence, but if it's the same guy, and what if he's even better? Because Earl was known for the drinking, the partying, and doing all that stuff. Now, if you remove all that from his life, we might be seeing a different type of beast. We don't even know. But again, Crawford's on the clock. You know how they say you're on the clock? Crawford is on the clock. So that's important. Typical Bob, though. Bob makes an unconscious admission in all this. He says, I won't get the direct quote. See, this is the thing that's funny. He said, nobody's icing anybody out. He's not icing us out. We're not icing them out. Everyone's working together. You have to cooperate to make money. So now, all of a sudden, they're not icing you out. And you're not icing them out. Now you have to cooperate to make money. Well, when did you realize that? You didn't know that? You didn't know that years ago? You just figured that out now? Well, why? Is it because you're out of opponents? The public won't buy your propaganda? You tried to sell them this Kell Brook propaganda, and the UK said, take this fight and shove it. Right? So now you got to cooperate to make money. Well, really, Bob Arum, because I'm willing to bet Earl Spence versus Danny Garcia is going to make money, and it has nothing to do with Top Rank. So what if, which is what I believe, the entire time, like with Manny Pacquiao, Bob Arum kept making them fight Top Rank fighters, right? Oh, get Claudia. Oh, get Margarito. Oh, get Timothy Bradley. Get him 3 times. Gotta get to that cow. Get Marquez 4 times. Right? He would have tried to make a 5th, but I'm sure even after Pacquiao got knocked out, said, I got knocked out because I'm bored. Give me another damn fight. We could do a 5th, but fine. All right, you're refusing. All right, fine. We could have went to the cow one more time, but So anyways.
He was trying.
Exactly. So this whole notion that you need 2 promotional companies to make a fight, you don't. Because Earl Spence and Danny Garcia is going to make money. Ain't got nothing to do with Top Rank. And if Bud Crawford was on PBC, they'd make that fight. And they'll get all the support they need, all the sponsorship they need, because everyone's been talking about this fight for years, bro. And not only that, both of these men are still undefeated. So this isn't coming at the, this is coming when both of them still have the resume. And thanks to you and all the investments you put into Terrence Crawford, he's #1 pound for pound on the ESPN list. So let PBC inherit him. One, look at how fast he'll drop from #1 on ESPN's list. But you already done put all that investment into him. So they really don't need you. All they need is Crawford. So Crawford, if you really want to fight, and this is where G says, I believe Crawford wants to fight, I question it. Because you had the opportunity to go to where these guys were and you chose not to. I don't want to, listen, when I go to the basketball court, there's the D League and there's where the ballers are. When you go in a basketball gym, like, I don't know, especially like typically there's where the dudes who are mediocre are playing, and there's where the elite talent is. The guys who are D1, the guys who used to play in the league, the guys who've been street legends, there's that court. You don't voluntarily go to the D League if you wanted to ball with the ballers. You can't sell me that. When I walk in the gym, the first thing I do is locate where the ballers are. I got next. I don't go to the D League and say, I really want to play with the ballers, but there were less people waiting over here, so I decided to get my shine on this court. You don't do that.
I do. I be over there looking like Jordan. Drill on the Dunkables.
So be like, nah, I'm going to the D League. But I want to be over there, though. You know what I'm saying? Come over here to the D League if you want.
I'm winning over here, though.
So I really can't buy it, yo. Like, I'm being real. Like, I just know the mentality. Like, a baller can't be playing in the D League and telling me that he's that nice. You can come over here. This is where the baller's at. You should come to the baller's at. Where he had that choice, he stayed with Top Rank. So
I feel he stayed on the Dunkables.
Yeah, he stayed on the Dunkables. And I don't want to hear this talk about money because, again, you don't really know how much money these guys are making. And here's the facts. They told you Tyson Fury made $28 million and all this stuff to beat Deontay Wilder. The fight didn't even break even. And so when they were telling Tyson Fury to stay with the Wilder fight, he said, I want the money guaranteed. I want them to guarantee my money. Why? Why would he want that? If their money is so good and it's all these numbers they're telling you is pie in the sky. Like I told you, Donovan McNabb had a $65 million contract. Only 5 of it was guaranteed. So you can sit here and you don't know. So don't tell me how can this guy make $5 million a fight? How can he make $5 million a fight? He can't even get his fights picked up. So don't sit here and tell me, oh, it's a contract, make $5 million a fight. You can believe what you want to believe. If you want to be gullible, that's fine. But the point I'm making is they don't need to. They got a good pay-per-view coming up right now, and it could easily be Spence and Crawford. In fact, if it was Spence and Crawford. So the fact that they already got Danny Garcia and Earl Spence, no Top Rank involvement, shows you it's BS. So like I said, he's inadvertently admitting that he was keeping TC away. Like there was across the street and it was because of him. So now they can all of a sudden work together. The only thing that changed, Bob, was your need to get your fighter fights. The only thing that changed. And you're selling this fight with Kell Brook as the best available opponent. But Pacquiao's available, right? Last time I checked. Pacquiao's available. And now you're saying 2021, you're going to fight him. So riddle me this, Bob. You couldn't fight him now? He's available. Available.
Older.
Exactly. Keith Thurman's available. Oh, he priced himself out the game. He asked for $10 million. Like, that's the first time a fighter priced himself out the game. You know how this goes. But you never wanted to fight him anyway. So what you did was took his first offer and said, oh, he priced himself out. I'm not even going to counter that. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
No counting, no nothing.
Come on, man. And here's another reason why, truthfully, these things never happen. Terrence Crawford's not the A side. That's the sad reality for Bob Arum. They're trying to build him up to be the A side, but he's not the A side. What's the split between Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence in a fight with one another? Real split. What's the split? Is it 50-50? I don't think so. True, you think it's 50-50?
It shouldn't be.
You said it should?
It shouldn't be.
Oh, I'm like, whoa.
It shouldn't
So if you're Bob,
be. I'm saying numbers alone.
yeah. No, it's not 50-50. So if you're Bob, right, you're going to make this fight with Earl Spence. How do you get TC 50-50? You hype him up. You make him #1 pound for pound. You make it get all this buzz. You make it seem like he's bigger than he actually is. See, me and Trill, we know this rule. We were taught this rule. Make yourself seem bigger than you actually are. It's the golden rule. Yeah, we get it, Bob. We know what you do. It's your MO. You told me Chocolate Cheeto was the best fighter in the world, Bob.
He's #1 and #2.
You told me it was Vasily. Bob. So now, okay, Bob. So now this time, for real, it's Terrence Crawford, right, Bob? Come on, man. And so
Crawford lose, and then it's Tyson Fury. Always.
Exactly. And don't let TC lose. It's gonna be Tyson Fury 100. So what I'm getting at is this. Straight up. Terrence Crawford has no options. He's out of options. This is the last meal. Like, for real, this is the last tune-up for him. The last meal for him. If he doesn't fight anyone else, who could he fight? What's left? Let me know. Someone let me know. Throw him out. Who could he fight now? So it's not that, the gates are open, we're not icing them out. You have nothing left. Now that you milked the cow, Bob, you done milked the cow, it's time to cash out. And Trill's right. Pacquiao's next. Pacquiao's next because he's older, because he's smaller. And Pacquiao's next because beating Pacquiao would be his only claim to an argument for 50-50. His only claim that he deserves 50-50 with Earl Spence. So why did he even mention Spence? Just to get fame off the name.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Kaden just killed it. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And also check out our podcast on all major streaming services. I'm Tro. That's Ned. That's G. And that's Kaden. We are the MFBB, the Boxing Bros.
Oh, yeah. And just briefly, if you're about to come in the comment section and launch a personal attack at me for just stating my opinion based on facts, you are the reason why this exists.
We could have been flawless, flying enough to make people's mouths drop jawless. How can 2 years be erased in 1 August? And you know I have my pride, so I had to get brolic. All in all, I can't call it. Just know you're my queen. Wish I was denim, cause then I be in your jeans. Can't fight fate, and you've been loving me since your teens. But when you can't move forward, you gotta wipe your slate clean.